Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today it's one of my replays and I'm in the Moines, a tier 10 US cruiser. I'm on map Warriors Path, 3-point domination game, no sub, no carrier, only 3 battleships, interesting enough, and a lot of Stalingrads. Well, I mean, maybe they count as battleships too, who knows. Anyway, so I'm making my way here towards the B cap, or, well, I'm detected. Look at that. So that means some emergency angling. 4 ships are immediately looking at me. I was hoping I'd get a little bit closer to this island before this happens. But I'm gonna pop a radar, I'm gonna pop a hydro. Because this means somebody will potentially torpedo me. And I found 3 destroyers. I can only shoot 1 of those, but that's more than enough for now. I'm trying to angle, get closer to the island, hoping to minimize the amount of ships that are gonna blab me. Now thankfully with only 3 battleships, there aren't that many battleships who have shots at me. It looks like it's probably just a Montana. So that's good. Meanwhile, the shimmer is almost disappearing. But we can get 1 more. Oh, it's dead. Nice. So I'm trying to be very close to the island to protect myself from torpedoes, also keep one of my sides protected. And now I'm just gonna go into concealment. So we have, well, interestingly enough, we have found most destroyers here in the center. Our gearing is trying to cap C. The problem being there are 2 Stalingrads over there, so despite not being contested by destroyer, it might run into some Stalingrad issues. We do have a larger force at A, and yeah, the reason originally why I came towards B C-ish is because I decided this is where we need more reinforcements. Now, for now, I might just bide my time and wait until my consumables are ready. Again, Hydro isn't gonna be running for much longer. I still obviously wanna help here on the BC side, but I would really like to take the B cap together with my destroyer here. But we need some tools to fight the enemies, and that might just be the next radar. So I'm maneuvering in order to take advantage of that when it's ready. Now RPF tells me the destroyers are still somewhat around. Or are they? Now RPF is switching. I mean, they could be going in the rear where the Stalingrad is, or they could be going through this channel here. And I'm detected, so they're going for this channel. Now once again, the good news is the enemy team doesn't really have many shots at me. Okay, there's the shimmer. So it was the vampire that came around and spotted me. And there might be torps. I don't have a hydro ready. So the shimmer is now gonna charge into. Thing is, if I go forward here, the Montana could be an issue, and Stalingrad. But I need to get moving, there will be fish, and I need to potentially maneuver because of it. So we're gonna see how this goes. As long as I'm not getting punished by the Montana or so, should work out fine. Now my radar is ready again, I could radar right now, and I'm no longer detected. Okay, so I've made it here without getting citadeled so far. So that's good news. Now I need to go over here, have this big island protect my side. And we have a broadside Stalingrad. So the reason I haven't raided is because the Shimmer Castle was basically in cover for me, and there is nobody else who should have shots at it. We don't really have too many ships at the seaside, and with the Shimmer like behind this island, don't think anybody would have been able to take advantage of that. Now, meanwhile, I'm taking advantage of a broadside Stalingrad, getting some nice juicy citadels. Not enough to catch it there though. So I'm getting a bit closer to this island. My left side is still potentially an issue. Now there are some islands here. I'm never sure if the Montana will have a chance to hit me. But I'm raided. Okay, I can pew the vampire slightly, but once again it's going behind an island. See, the thing is, with my radar, I could spot plenty of ships there. I mean, I think currently the other Moines is radaring. But there's just barely anyone who can shoot something. Oh, double fire? Yeah, let's damage Conrad. Not gonna get some good shots in the Yoshino. I can't give more lead because there is an island in the way. And I think it's angling right now. Now the good news is we are currently flipping B. And, well, our forces at A... I mean, that Stalingrad should probably not be in a one line. But our forces are at least pushing like the last enemies on that side. Speaking of pushing, the enemy might just be coming my way soon. So we've lost the Demonia, we've lost the Winds, and yeah, we only have a gearing. And I mean, with the amount of radar, that gearing just needs to play rather careful. Now I finally decided to pop my radar just to get something here to shoot at. And I have to be careful here, that Stalingrad might be able to punish me. So I need to reverse a bit to be safe again. It also means I can no longer shoot. So, yeah. But I have caught the vampire sneaking up on us. Now, as Viper coming in here with a smoke screen, although... I mean, what the smoke screen might help with is if there was a ship like somewhere on the flanks. Could detect me. Well, I'm ready anyway. And I can't really shoot this Stalingrad because the island is unfortunately slightly too high for that. And again, it probably can't shoot me. Once again, I should be relatively safe from the Montana there, and the Montana has other problems anyway. Not sure where the Bourgogne is and such. Okay, well, after quite a bit of reversing, let's go and shoot that Stalingrad. And I'm raided again. So the problem is, this Stalingrad is shooting back with armor piercing, and I really would like to not get citadeled. So I very nearly almost got the Stalingrad, but I moved too far forward, I can no longer shoot it. I mean, I could have stayed there and shot it a bit longer, but, you know, I was very broadside, and if the Stalingrad gets some good citadels in, that would have been very risky, so I took the safe path. Unfortunately, that also means the Stalingrad might survive. Now, we have some ships up here that could have shots at the Stalingrad, but not sure. Meanwhile, it's clear that that vampire is close enough to spot me in my smoke when I fire. It also means it's close enough to torpedo me. Vampire doesn't have the most... Oops. So the thing is, I'm trying to be careful here. I don't want to be shot from the right into my broadside. This is a very interesting spot that I'm in. Because I have to always watch out with ships from all sides, it feels like. So I'm now angled against that smoke screen in case there is fish. And maybe we can shoot that Bourgogne a bit. Well, I mean, that was one salvo. Now I'm popping the radar because I knew the vampire was there. And I'm trying to get a hit in there, but it's unfortunately fleeing. Now once again, the problem is if I go too far forward, I'm exposing my side to the Yoshino and the Stalingrad. So that's something that I probably shouldn't do. But if I stay here, there's a Bourgogne. Bourgogne doesn't have the biggest guns though, so I should be fine. I should probably also be angling a bit more. But then again, the Bourgogne's guns aren't looking at me. So I can just... Oh, and it's getting taut. Well, that issue resolved itself. Okay then. Where to next? Oh, I'm raided again. Well, no surprise there. So here is where I thought I could get potentially some shots at the Stalingrad or the Yoshino. I also considered that they might be wanting to push me here, but... maybe not. Now, I was hoping that I would be finding an opportunity to shoot a broadside ship or something. Like, I can't push. I mean, part of me really wants to. Like, try it. Just YOLO in, see if I can citadel them. Of course, the Yoshino has torpedoes, so if I were to sail broadside to a Yoshino, like, I mean, if I were to sail so that I have shots at the broadside Yoshino, then the Yoshino can torpedo me in return. And of course, it would be very dangerous going in there with getting citadeled myself with the Stalingrad and so on. I mean, I'm itching to try, but it would just be a bad idea. So, for once, let's do the smart thing. If we were winning highly, right? If like the enemy had only 3 ships left, then I would pushing this just to see what happens, but I really can't afford to. Which is a shame. So instead, maybe I need to shoot the ships towards the south of me, and I should already be focusing more on this. So here is the thing though. I'm uncertain if I'm gonna get pushed here or not, and I'm keeping an eye on this. But yeah, I need to really just shoot those other ships. And the Stalingrad is still not coming around. Now the good news is, by the way, we have 2 caps, right? Also a reason why there is no reason to take a risk. If it remains like this, we're just gonna win on points. So what I'm gonna do now is, so I'm still keeping an eye out on this, because now that I've started engaging here, they might think I'm distracted and they might use that to come around. I'm not sure if they realize that I'm shooting Vincent, because I'm not detected. But yeah, it's once again an interesting spot to be in, because technically somewhat surrounded. With some destroyers in the north, some ships in the south, and then they're right in front of me. Okay, the Vincent is turning, so we'll try to burn it. Obviously, Vincent has a super heal, which means fires aren't the long-term solution unless we can burn it down before its super heal is ready again, or it's out of heals. That's also a possibility. I got a very lucky double fire, which is nice. Vincent hasn't damage con yet, probably because it has a super heal and it can just heal a lot of that bank. And I've been detected. Now the good news is I'm running the legendary module, which means I can accelerate relatively quickly and try to get out of the way. I still got hit a little bit, and I mean technically, right, that could have been the end right there. So I was detected only briefly, but the Vincent was ready, and that one salvo could have ended me. But you know, still alive. Then again, I'm not sure if he could have had the... Like, there was the island still in the way. It's also possible that he couldn't aim any lower. And the island also offered some protection. Who knows? Meanwhile... Oh, Vincent is down. Now that's nice. Still a fairly close game. It's 6 versus 5 ships. So I'm gonna pop a Hydro again. See what's going on in front of me. I can Hydro that Stalingrad for now. And it looks like the Harugumo behind me has some shots. Meanwhile, the cover was visible briefly up there in the north, and we are 5 versus 5 again. So once again, ship-wise, this game is pretty close. It's just our advantage are the points.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
And we have an interesting situation here, right? Because I can't really push those enemies, but the enemies are also reluctant to push me. I do have some forces here behind. But if the enemy just sits in there, and, you know, we're gonna win it on points. At some... Like, there will come a time when I have to try something. Meanwhile, I've found a way I can lob some shells at the Yoshino. Gotta be very careful here. Now, the Yoshino can't top with this angle, but... I mean, I'm angled against the Yoshino. It's getting some armor-piercing pains, though. Don't think it can citadel me from there. Right, it's only hitting the front part of my nose where there's no citadel. But I need to be careful and I need to reverse. Now that Stalingrad has decided that needs to help out there, because the Yoshino is now getting in trouble. Meanwhile, there is a Khabarovsk here behind me. but I have other issues. So starting guard coming in, I have armor piercing, but you know, it's too angled. It's not showing broadside, so I'm knocking out one of its turrets. Now I'm going for high explosive. I can, without a problem, go through the upper part of the nose there. So that's what we're gonna try to do. And down is the Starling drone. And suddenly this looks very promising. It's now a 4 against 2. So the time might have come to finally face the Yoshino. I haven't seen that vampire in a while. You know, I'm honestly surprised that the vampire never really torpedoed me here. Or came in there and spotted me through this gap. And again, who knows what this vampire is up to. Maybe it's going for one of our camps or it has been engaging some other ships. So, by the way, Yoshino, I can go through the nose here without a problem with high explosive. So that's what I'm doing. Of course, the nose is getting more and more saturated. So that might just be an issue. But the Yoshino is also getting relatively low. And here it knocks out one of my turrets. Honestly, I should repair that immediately. If I were smart, I would have done that. The Yoshino is not shooting high explosive right now, I think, so I'm not burning. And that means... Why am I saving my damage count, right? So, yeah. One turret has been permanently knocked out now, but it's fine. We're getting the Yoshino anyway.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
So I think he was shooting armor piercing, right? Anyway, I should really have repaired that turret. It's 50% of my forward firepower. And, you know, it now got permanently destroyed. Thankfully, there isn't much of a game left, so one less turret isn't going to make a difference in the end. And, yeah, all that remains is to reach 1,000 points. And I don't think we're gonna ever see this vampire again. Also, there were some nice people that I know in the enemy team. Which does bring us to the results. And you know what? I was complimented in this game 5 times. Which is nice to see. Now I knew 3 enemies, right? So I have a suspicion that 3 of those compliments are from them. But anyway, there was even somebody from my own team who sent me a message afterwards and told me that I played very well. So it's nice to see that, you know, there are still some very kind people in World of Warships. And this was a very fun game to play. It was somewhat close and I was in an interesting spot. But it all worked out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. And I'll see you next time.